genre. Action, adventure, or maybe even horror? Oh no, let me guess. You guys are romantic comedy people. Do you ever pretend your life's a movie? Kind of like the girl in An Award Goes To, written by Shannon Cartwright, but her life is so much of an emotional roller coaster that it would be almost impossible to put her life into just one genre. I love movies. It's a form of escape, and who wouldn't want to escape from their lives once in a while? My favorites are the romantic comedies. They let me escape the reality of my own life. I don't like the dramas nearly as much as I like the romantic comedies. Why would I want to spend 2 hours watching someone else's depressing life? Especially when my own life is more of a drama than any movie I've ever seen. If you want to cry, just give me $10. I'll tell you a true story that can make you cry. I might even throw in some popcorn. There's always at least one bad guy. For me, the bad guy would be my dad. It's hard to admit, but my father used to abuse me when I was younger. It started out with him just playing around, pinching me. He'd like to see what kind of marks he could make on my skin when Mom wasn't home. When she would come home, I would tell her what had happened. She'd look at the red welts on my legs and arms, and she'd tell Dad to remember that I was still just a kid. He'd laugh and try to make a joke out of it by saying, "We were only roughhousing, babe. I'm sorry. If I was too rough, why didn't she say anything?" Then, when Mom wasn't in the room, he'd call me a little tattletale. He'd warn me that Mom wouldn't always be there to baby me. If I was smart and didn't want to stress Mama anymore, I wouldn't say anything. As the years passed, Dad's playing around got a little more serious. There was one week back a few years ago that Mom had to visit Grandmother in the hospital. Mom felt it was safe to leave me with Dad. After all, he was my father. He would look after me like his life depended on it, right? Mom hadn't even been gone one day when Dad decided I would be his full-time slave. I was now tending to Dad's every whim, getting him the mail, bringing him a beer from the fridge, bringing him the remote. I made Cinderella look lazy. No wonder I never liked that story. If I didn't get whatever he wanted fast enough, Dad would grab me by the arm and put his lit cigarette so close to my skin that I could feel the heat start to burn me. He'd say, "The next time I ask you to do something, I think you better move a little quicker." He'd then make me say I was sorry. When my grandmother got better, Mom came home. Dad said he was glad she was back home and that I had been a good, perfect angel. Mom thanked me for being Daddy's little helper. I never understood how Mom couldn't see Dad for what he really was. How could anyone be so clueless? I know she loved him, but couldn't she sense anything? The old saying about a mother's intuition didn't apply in my house. They say love is blind. It must be. As I grew older, Dad's ability, or I don't know, maybe need to hurt me, got more intense. The old days of Dad simply putting a cigarette close to my skin was